Yes, thank you, Advocate Ngcukaitobi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Advocate Riley, can I just ask you to start with, this is a disciplinary inquiry against Advocate Chauke, and the allegations which you said you are familiar with are that he supported or endorsed or promoted a decision to charge Major General Boyson and others with racketeering despite no evidence. Correct? You are familiar with that?
That is correct, yes.
Yes, and one of the, in fact, the only ground upon which he has been charged in relation to the Ngcukaitobi issue is your report, correct?
If I read the charges, that is correct, yes.
Yes. Did you recommend that he should be charged with misconduct?
No.
Yes. And so that was a decision of the NDPP, not your decision.
I wasn't involved in that decision.
Yes. Now,
I beg your pardon? What's the answer?
says, well, can you repeat your answer, Advocate Riley?
I wasn't involved in that decision.
And your recommendation is made a decision. That decision is then set aside by the High Court. On the logic of Advocate Batohi, you would be guilty of misconduct.
I'm not guilty of misconduct. I disagree with you.
No,
I was part of a panel of
Yes.
4 people. We were requested to review the evidence, which we did, and we made recommendations to the NDPP.
I
We
understand.
did not tell her to follow those recommendations.
No, I understand precisely. That's exactly what happened to Advocate Chauke. He was not a decision maker. The decision maker was the NDPP. He is charged for recommending and supporting, which is precisely what you have done. And he is also charged because he comes from Gauteng and is involved in matters from KwaZulu-Natal. You come from Cape Town, you are involved in a matter in KwaZulu-Natal. So it seems to me that it's hypocritical for you to say, no, you should not be charged, but Advocate Chauke should be charged.
I didn't institute any charges against Advocate Chauke. I never said he should be charged. You are there, you are incorrect.
I see. So you would agree then that it would be wrong to charge Advocate Chauke merely for making a recommendation which is not binding on the NDPP?
I did not make the decision. Neither do I know on what basis that decision was made.
I understand that, but if you want us to go through the terms of reference, we can do that. It's clear on what basis the decision was made. I'm simply testing whether there is consistency inside the NDPP's office. That's why I'm asking you that you cannot be a hypocrite. It is either you agree with me that if the MK party succeeds, you should also be charged with misconduct, or you say, I don't agree with you, in which event that applies to you and it applies to Advocate Chauke. It's as simple as that.
It's not as simple as that. Like I said, in our line of work, we make decisions every day. We also ask for opinions, and this was exactly what has transpired, to make a decision on recommendations to the NDPP. She wasn't bound by our recommendations. She says it in her internal memorandum to us that the final decision will lie with her.
Yes, but
in respect of the charges, I was, like I said, right, in respect of your first question, I was not involved in any way with the decision to charge Advocate Chauke.
yes, but I'm asking you for your opinion now. I hear what you're saying. Whether or not the DPP of South Gauteng, who is in the exact same position as you, was correctly charged for making a recommendation that is not binding on the NDPP. What's difficult in committing an answer to that?
Because I was not involved in that decision. I don't know on what basis the decision was made to charge him.
All right, well,
If you can explain to me that, then that's fine. But
All right.
I wasn't involved in that decision.
Okay, let's look at the basis for it. I'm going to ask you to look at the terms of reference, which set out the basis. I need my copy of the terms of reference. Oh, I don't have the... Are you able to find it, Advocate Riley?
Can you refer me to where I can find it? Then I can ask Advocate Ngcukaitobi to assist me.
I'm sure she can find it. She knows her way around the papers. It's in various parts.
I do have it now.
Thank you. If you can turn to page number 6, paragraph 3.1.1.1. Can you see that?
That is correct, yes.
Yes. Now, the opening paragraph there talks about racketeering certificates, correct?
That is correct, yes.
And it's common cause that racketeering certificates are within the exclusive jurisdiction of the National Director of Public Prosecutions, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Now, 3.1.1.1 accuses Advocate Chauke of supporting a decision, not making it. Supporting a decision to charge Major General Boysen, correct?
That is what it says, yes.
You would agree that he's not a decision maker, someone else is a decision maker, correct?
That is what it said, supported a decision.
All right. If you then go to 3.1.1.2, it talks about recommended, correct?
That is correct, yes.
And again, even there, he's not the decision maker, he's merely recommending, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Now, that is what I mean when I say he is in exactly the same position as yourself, where you are either supporting or recommending a particular decision, but it is not your decision, it is the NDPP's decision. So this is the basis of the charge that you are looking for. Now, I come back to my original question. If you say, if this decision is subsequently set aside of Advocate Batohi, you should not be charged for supporting or recommending, you must agree that even Advocate Chauke should not be charged for supporting and recommending.
I didn't draft these charges.
I know you didn't, and I am asking you deliberately because you are in exactly the same position as Advocate Chauke, that it seems to me it's logical, unless you want to be hypocritical, that if you say you should not be charged for supporting and recommending, it must apply to Advocate Chauke. What's difficult in saying what's good for you is good for him?
Are you able to comment, Advocate Riley?
I'm not able to comment because I was not part of this decision making. To charge Advocate Chauke, I don't know the basis for it. and I didn't draft any of these charges against him.
So your answer is, should we understand your answer to be no?
That is correct, yes. I did not, I was not involved in this decision to charge Advocate Chauke.
No, that's not the point. The point is not whether you were involved or not. The point made by counsel is that if you are similarly placed as Advocate Chauke, or in the position similar to Advocate Chauke, because in your report, together with your colleagues, you supported and made recommendations in relation to racketeering authorizations to someone, well, let me put it directly, to Advocate Batohi, who has the power to decide on those racketeering authorizations. She has exclusive powers to decide on these racketeering authorizations, not you, not Advocate Chauke. And counsel is saying, because you are in the same position, doesn't it then follows that if Advocate Chauke, who is in the same position as you, who is alleged to have done what you did in your report, should then make you to be in the same position, and therefore you should also be subjected to the disciplinary hearing? Because you supported and recommended on the decision on the matter that falls within the exclusive powers of the NDPP.
And you come from Cape Town.
And yet you come from Cape Town.
Once again says, I do understand we gave an opinion. We also made certain recommendations in respect of whether the application for racketeering authorization by Advocate Abrams is valid or not. Like I said, in terms of 3111 and 3112, I do not know the basis on which they are saying what is the evidence or information that they have where they said he supported a decision. I can speak to what we did in terms of our recommendations, but I cannot speak to what is in 3111 and 3112 as to why those charges were put.
No, Advocate Riley, it's very simple. I can tell you, it's very simple. They are saying Advocate Chauke is from Johannesburg. He's getting himself involved in matters that are in KZN. And he is exceeding the scope of his jurisdiction. He's violating the law. That's what they're saying. Advocate Batohi said this many times. I look at this report you've prepared. I see that the other two gentlemen are deceased. The two that remain is yourself and Advocate Tenga. Unfortunately, you are the only one who's testified here. That's why I'm putting to you that if it is misconduct to make a recommendation on a matter from KZN that falls within the exclusive power of the NDPP for Advocate Chauke, it is also misconduct to you. Should you now also receive your charge sheet? That's the simple question.
You indicated, and that's what I'm trying to indicate, what the evidence, on what basis they are saying he supported a decision in his capacity as the DPP. You now mentioned the fact it's because he was the DPP in South Gauteng and he tried to improperly have the acting director of public prosecutions, KZN, sign the case dockets or a prosecution memorandum. That's the basis. That's not an opinion. That's not an opinion. And I keep on saying, We were asked to provide an opinion and recommendations. That charge is different. And on what basis and what evidence they have to support that charge, I am not privy to it.
All right. So you would say the mere fact that he provided an opinion or supported a decision or made a recommendation on a matter that is from KZN, the so-called exceeding the jurisdiction charge, you would agree with that or not agree with that? I just want to get a clear answer because it seems to me you are similarly placed.
I'm not similarly placed.
All right.
As I indicated, the allegation against him that he sought to improperly have the acting director of public prosecution, KZN, sign the case dockets and or prosecution memorandum, I cannot speak to that. But that's very different from granting an opinion, reading dockets, and giving an opinion to the NDPP.
Yes, I see. So if it was only about granting an opinion and making a recommendation, that wouldn't be a charge, even if you came from a different jurisdiction.
That is correct.
Thank you very much.
It's very much different from somebody interfering, in my opinion, in the work of another DPP.
No, that's all I wanted to confirm. Thank you for that.